All right, Memphis Drizzlies, it is week 3 of the IBL. This time we are up against the Washington Lake Spirits, one of our division rivals, our first division rivalry match of the season. And we are currently tied with the Washington Lake Spirits in win-loss records. We are both 2-0 going into this match, so one of us is going to walk out with a loss. Now, the Lake Spirits have probably one of, if not the biggest differentials in the league right now, which can be a little bit intimidating going into it. And unfortunately, I was unable to prep as much this week as I have in past weeks. I normally try and spend a couple of days team building. Just due to my schedule this week, I had to build my entire team this afternoon. So due to that, I decided to just have a little bit more fun with the team this time, be a little bit more creative. And so we're going to be doing something a little bit different with our play style this week, and hopefully it works out for us. So the real question is going to be, will this team blow up in our face, or will the Memphis Drizzlies give us a show of true brilliance? What chicken, guys? MagicActivatr here, coach of your Memphis Drizzlies, bringing you guys our week 3 IBL match. This week we are up against Elite 4 Walkthroughs, coach of the Washington Lake Spirits. Now, unfortunately, this week's battle is going to be a post commentary because my live recording ended up getting messed up. So I'm going to do my best to give you guys the play-by-play. The battle pacing will be a little bit faster because you're not going to see the real-time decision making, but like I said, I'll try my best to let you guys know what was going on in my head as this battle was playing out. But anyway, this battle was kind of intense because Elite and I were both going into this battle with 2-0 records, and one of us was going to come out with a loss. So there was kind of a lot on the line going into this battle. But anyway, Elite is rocking the team of Mega Caesar, Latios, Quagsire, Cradily, Mienshao, and Yuxi versus our team of Houdini, our Klefki, who was a new member to the team. We picked him up as a free agent this week. I'll probably do a video in the next week explaining why I picked it up since I didn't have time beforehand, but we did pick that up and we're using it this week. We've got Summer Breeze, our Mega Venusaur. We've got Too Much Hood, our Scrafty, Bellariva, our Milotic, Glitcher, Jolteon, and Tylee, our Arcanine. And as I mentioned before, this week, I had a lot less time to prep my team as I've done in the past. So I actually built this team the same afternoon I ended up battling Elite. So I decided to kind of just have a little bit more fun with this team and try and do something kind of interesting with it and fun with it. So basically, I have a kind of a bold strategy with this team that I try and pull off in this battle, and you'll see how it plays out. But basically, the idea is that I've got Focus Sash on Jolteon. He's rocking Agility and Baton Pass, and the plan is to get up an agility and Baton Pass it out to Scrafty, because Scrafty can honestly do a lot of work against his team. There's only a couple of things that can kind of wall it, mostly the Mienshao. So that's kind of the game plan, is to get the agility to Scrafty so we can outspeed anything except maybe a Choice Scarf user, and then let Scrafty put in some work. But anyway, I ended up deciding that instead of leading with Jolteon, which was the original plan, I decided to lead with Klefki because of the fact that Mienshao does have Fake Out, and he could break our Sash and then turn around and hit us with something that's going to do a decent amount of damage before we have a chance to get an agility up and Baton Pass it. So I decided to lead with Klefki and just go ahead and set up screens. That way that maybe we have a chance to get Jolteon in later, and he can take a hit a little bit better so that he can get the agility up and Baton Pass it. But anyway, that's kind of the strategy going into this that I want to pull off. But we'll go ahead and jump into the battle and see how everything ends up playing out. So like I said, we decided to go ahead and lead off with Houdini to get our screens up and hopefully allow us to provide some better defenses for the rest of our team. So we set up a Reflect turn 1, seeing as he leads with his Uxie, and I expect it to hit us from the physical side anyway. And it goes for a Thunder Wave, which is really, really annoying because it does kind of negate our Prankster if Paralysis kicks in. But we break through on turn 2, and we get the Light Screen up. So now we got both of our screens up, and he just goes ahead and sets up Stealth Rocks, which is a problem because it's going to break our Sash on Jolteon when we switch it in. So now Houdini gets fully paralyzed, and he gets a knockoff, which ends up being a crit. That's not really that important, but he does knock off our Light Clay, so setting up screens is going to be a little bit harder for us and a little less useful in the future. But he goes ahead and switches into Quagsire, which was a good play because I ended up going for a Thunder Wave. So he's immune to that, of course, and I just go ahead and straight up switch out to Summer Breeze because And the only really decent move that he can go for here is an ice type move before we Mega Evolve, and I still think we'll take it pretty well, especially behind screens. So he ends up going for an Earth Power, which doesn't do that much, especially with screens up, and then he straight up switches out expecting the Giga Drain, which is what I do click. And so he switches into his Cradily, which is going to take that a little bit better than Quagsire will, but it's still going to be neutral. And I didn't run Sludge Bomb this week, and in its place I ran Roar in case we needed to phase something out, but it didn't really matter because Giga Drain and HP Fire are both neutral, as is Sludge Bomb on the Cradily. So I just go for the Giga Drain that gets a little bit of damage off, and he goes for an Energy Ball. So I'm thinking, okay, Cradily can't do too much to us, and I don't want to play the long game here, so I'm just going to go ahead and Roar out the Cradily, and I'll deal with it later. And I pull in Caesar, which is pretty fortunate for us. And so here I'm thinking he's just going to switch out because HP Fire is super, super obvious, but he stays in and he Mega Evolves. And I just go for the safe play and hit HP Fire. He goes for a Bullet Punch, which again, not doing too much to us. And we get an free HP Fire on him essentially, and it's going to do over half. So I'm really happy about that. We do lose our Reflect right there. And he pulls that Caesar out, which is definitely the smart thing to do. So he switches in his Uxie to take the next HP Fire, which is going to do incredibly well. Now here's where the play is, the most important play of the battle comes in. So he's got Uxie in. He can't really do much to me to hinder me except for going for a Stab Psychic move, which won't do too much. Or he could go for Thunder Wave. So I predict the Thunder Wave here, and I switch into Glitch, who takes Stealth Rocks damage. But I know that if he does T-Wave, which he does, we'll get the Volt Absorb and get back up to full HP. So now our Focus Sash is completely back intact, and we're at square one. So now I'm in the perfect position to go ahead and get my Agility up, because now that we got a Sash, I know that he can't one-shot me. I know that he can't one-shot me, and I have 2 turns guaranteed. So I go for the Agility. He goes for Knockoff, which does a lot less than I expected it to, honestly. And so with that said, now I feel really confident because he's either going to have to switch or he goes for another move, which probably won't KO at this point. So I just go ahead and take a risky move and go for a second Agility, maybe getting a little bit greedy, but he switches into his Latios, so it ends up working out fine. And this is my time. I know he's got Latios in. I'm not worried about anything because he doesn't have a Fairy type move, so I just go ahead and Baton Pass into Scrafty. I've got Assault Vest, so I know he can't, do too much to me from the special side. And he ends up going for a Calm Mind, so we get Scrafty, and Scrafty's now at +4 speed. He goes for Calm Mind, so we get in completely for free. And now we just click Knockoff, and this is where Scrafty's Reign of Terror begins, because Knockoff is going to end up one-shotting his Latios, and because I'm running a Moxie set, we're going to get an attack boost right there. And now Scrafty is ready to just run through people. So he sends in Mega Caesar here, which I wasn't completely sure of why, unless he just thought I was banded or didn't have have Fire Punch. But I do have Fire Punch for that Caesar, so I click it, and we take out the Caesar. He doesn't get a chance to roost, and we get our second Moxie boost. And now we're at +2 attack, +4 speed. So here he goes into Quagsire, I guess trying to take a hit and maybe get a Scald Burn. But we knock off here, just in case he's carrying the Rindo Berry, because we knew that Uxie was carrying the the leftovers. So Rindo Berry made sense. But he goes for Scald, it doesn't KO, and we go for a Grass Knot, which he totally was not expecting. He told me afterwards that he learned today that Scrafty gets Grass Knot. Kind of bold running a special move on a physical attacker, but it worked out for us. We get the attack boost. He goes into Mienshao, which even if he's Scarfed, we outspeed at +4, and Drain Punch at this point +3 is going to be more than enough to take out that Mienshao. And so at this point, it's pretty much GG, because honestly, Mienshao and Quagsire are the only 2 mons that could really do anything to deal with Scrafty. But once he got that many Moxie boosts up and he was at +4 speed, nothing was really stopping it. And so we knock off Uxie, we take it out, and we get our final Moxie boost of the match, getting us up to +5, and he sends in his Cradily, which is carrying Rocky Helmet, which isn't really going to matter anyway, because Drain Punch is just going to take it out. And that is going to be a 6-0 win for the Memphis Drizzlies in week 3. Scrafty absolutely putting in nothing but the finest of work. Jolteon as well being able to set up the support and get it to Scrafty. Absolutely awesome. This battle was so much fun. I had a blast with it. And Elite, I was honestly nervous because Elite was definitely putting on some pressure with us by Thunder Waving our Klefki early on, and didn't really know if I was ever going to get a chance to get Jolteon back in as freely as I did, but luckily I just got a really good prediction there and was able to get in, set up not 1 but 2 agilities, which pretty much at that point I think locked in, if not a complete sweep, definitely a lot of momentum for us. So it worked out in our favor. So definitely go and check out Elite's channel if you want to see his side of the battle. His link will be in the description below. But I hope you did enjoy this battle as much as I did. If you did, please hit that like button down below for us. Give it your magic touch as always. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. So have yourselves a good day. Stay cool, and we will catch you next time.